Unemployment numbers easing, but again, underemployment. How worrying is that, and what do you make of those numbers?
Well, actually, the reason is there's a lot of entrants in the labor market, but many of them are taking part-time jobs, and some companies are also rotating people, so the earnings really are going down. The measure of those who are employed, if you work one day, you are already counted as employed. So that can really make the difference in the data.
Okay, sir, what's the trend going to be as we battle with highest inflation that we've seen in 14 years? What is this a temporary issue that once inflation goes down, there might be better opportunities for work, especially as employers start getting back the labor force, or is it going to be more difficult next year to find good jobs?
You probably have to look at the sizes of the firms, no? Our enterprises, 90% are micro, a little more than 8% is small, medium is 1%, and large is less than 1%. No? So from that you can, and in the micro, they employ about 65% of the employees, no, in the formal sector. So you can see that if you will really notice, the big companies, the medium companies are declaring better profits now, in spite of the conditions. No?
Okay.
But the small ones, especially the micro, who half of which closed down during the pandemic, beginning to open up, are having a difficulty adjusting because the inflation, especially transportation, takes a big portion of their company budget. No? So, but the large one, they can give much more than what is being asked for. No? So you will notice that the ones really suffering are the small ones. The others can fend for themselves. And that's why we are saying, if there is any assistance from the government, it should be concentrated on the small ones.
Okay. Sir Pet, is there no shift going on? Kasi you mentioned po that the big companies are growing naman. When you look at the profits, hindi po ba na-absorb yung losses in the small and micro companies that have been lost? And are they not going to these bigger firms?
Well, to a certain degree, most of the small ones are in this supply chain, are suppliers of big companies, no? And they can, in a way, pay them better. They can, in a way, improve the volume of their orders from them, no? Unfortunately, you have to face the reality that employment is really concentrated on the small ones, and they're the ones who are suffering, and that is why even this call of remember there are about 50 million so in our labor market, no, and about 10% of that is the only ones covered by the minimum wage law. Minimum wage are minimum wage earners. No, 16% of the 50 million is those who are covered by the labor laws, pag-ibig, SSS, and things like that. The other 90% do not technically have employers. So if there are increases in wages, only the 10% is affected.
And speaking of increases in wages, you now have some labor groups calling for a 100 peso hike in minimum wage. I mean, are you amenable to that? At what level are you going to be comfortable with, especially coming into next year? We have already made increases this year. So what's the private sector standpoint when it comes to that?
Well, actually, as I was saying, there are some realities that we have to face now. If they increase the minimum wage, only 10% are affected. No? The beneficiaries. The 90%. Who are the 90%? Who are the 90%? these are the mostly informal sector, tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers, market vendors, small business employees, agriculture workers, 84% sila ng labor force. They don't have employers. So if they increase 100%, where will the tricycle driver get that 100 pesos? So nobody's going to give that to him. Unfortunately, companies who are mandated to increase salaries can only do two things. If they can afford it, they will just pass it on to their market. No? If not, they will try to cut down on their employment or make them rotation. That is creating a lot of part-time workers. No? So the problem is if your increase in expenses has nothing to do with your sales or income, you increase your prices and it escalates. Everybody has to pay that price. Even the 90% who did not get any increase. And that is why it is very dangerous also to keep addressing the better situated, which is the minimum wage earners, who are mostly really in the regular jobs. The other 90%, yun ay kayong walang huhugutan.
Oo nga. Sir, just to ask on that
that's the
point,
problem.
sir, do you have data or figures on the number of regular workers that are now contractual? Or is this a situation that we are facing right now na dati po silang regular because we see high underemployment, no, even as unemployment is going down? What is the situation?
There are
with that?
data, I just don't have it right now, no. But DOLE comes up with all this data. The contractuals have gone down, no.
Gone down, okay.
And mostly, the companies who are rehiring sometimes are hiring not everybody yet, no. And that is why the new entrants in the labor market, the new graduates, those who come at age, that's about 800,000 to 1 million a year, no? And that is why they're having difficulty being employed. So what happens is, sila yung nagpa-part-time, and that's why the statistics is like that.
Okay, even as contractual is actually going down. Go ahead, Jess.
Pero at the same time, very staggering numbers, 90% informal workers, like what you mentioned, they really won't be reaping the benefits of a possible wage hike here. How then should we be actually supporting this 90%? Kasi medyo malaki yun, sir.
Well, unfortunately, the informal sector they don't have the voice as strong as those who are in the formal sector because nandun yung mga trade unions to support them. Itong mga ito, there is splattered and they don't know. It's really the government who has to take the initiative to be able to support. Sila yung mostly dapat inaayudahan. Sila yung dapat sinusuportahan. And I think there's a budget for that. And I think the thing that the government must do, and what it is really doing, is trying to encourage investment, because at the end of the day, it's job creation that is the problem, so that we can create the jobs for them.